We're at Talking Stick Resort with Chad Moeller, 2001 Diamondbacks World Series winner. Chad, did you always want to be a baseball player growing up?
I'm like most kids. I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to play sports. I wanted to do it professionally. And I mean, most kids, just ends up a dream. For me, I just never ended up stopping. I played in Little League just like everybody else, and then I played in high school, and it continued into college. And unfortunately, for 16 years in professional baseball, and I will say I'm happy to be done at this point, but I enjoyed the ride. I was very blessed.
So tell us, I can't miss this ring, of course, is gorgeous, your World Series ring. Tell us what it was like to win the World Series here with the Diamondbacks and what some of your most memorable moments were.
Sure. No, for me, I was a young player in Arizona at the time. I had just been traded from the Minnesota Twins. I played for them in 2000, so I was traded here in spring of 2001. So for a young player, I went from last place to first place overnight, and I'll be honest, this was an intimidating clubhouse. I mean, these were the players, and they'll love hearing me say this, that I watched growing up, like Mark Grace and Randy Johnson and Matt Williams. And I mean, I used to emulate Matt Williams when I played in Pony League, so I was 13, and I'm copying what he did. And it was fun to be able to bring that around to them when we played together. But it was so much fun to be a part of something like that and to see how it was supposed to be done. All these professionals doing it the right way, and it was just, I mean, the ring was fantastic. To be a part of it was fantastic. For a young player, it meant we got out of debt and we bought our first home. I mean, and those are the parts that no one realizes, and we've been here since.
What was it like catching for Randy?
Randy was a blast because every game you knew something special could happen. Randy was better than everybody in the game at that point. The 5 Cy Youngs proved it, and because you knew every time you took the field, it could be a no-hitter, it could be a perfect game, he could end up striking out 20, and you didn't know what was going to happen each day. The hardest part for me was I didn't want to be the reason to screw it up. And so for a young player, for me it added extra stress just in the sense of I want him to succeed. I don't know whether I have a lot to do with it or not, but I don't want him not to because of something I do.
Now, you also run a lot of clinics here and you work with a lot of young athletes. Can you tell us a little bit more and elaborate on what you're offering here currently?
Well, right now, when I stopped playing this past spring, I started doing what I knew best, which is teaching baseball, or I knew baseball best, and started teaching it and realized that I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And it's picked up. I do a lot of one-on-one lessons, I do a lot of group lessons, I run clinics for boys, and I end up with softball players there also. And just teaching fundamentals with hitting, with catching. And so I want to try and be able to pass that on as best I can. And then I also ended up setting up a website that has everything I teach, from catching to hitting, just giving, I want to be able to teach people on the other side of the country and not just in this Phoenix area.
Well, we're very fortunate to have you make your home here, and we appreciate it and all that you do for all the kids. And thank you so much for joining us here on Spotlight Arizona.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.